What's up everyone? Legacy Mike here for the Legacy Entrepreneurs Mastermind event in Moab, Utah. We're at the top of Arches National Park right now, prepping for the event. I cannot wait for everyone that's gonna come here and experience this amazing event. So we have 25 people flying in from all across the country that are business owners, real estate investors, marketing experts, you name it. And we're gonna come here, we're gonna ride side by sides together on the trails, and then when we get back to the house, we're gonna mastermind together and learn how to improve our businesses and improve our lives. So we got about 4 hours till the event starts. So we're gonna get some stuff together. We're gonna get prepped at the house. Everyone's flying in right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready and get this party started. Let's go.
Corey France here with Legacy Entrepreneurs, and we're here at Skydive Moab. Getting ready to load this bird here, get up to 13,000 feet, jump out and get this event started. Let's go.
Dustin here with Moab Side by Side, and we are stepping outside a little bit outside the box today with Legacy Mike. Happy to see the whole Legacy group back in Moab again. It's going to be a wild trip as always. And we're starting it off with something a little unorthodox, something that we don't usually do, and we're gonna go jump out of a plane today.
Hey Mike, how you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm not jumping.
I'm so nervous, and I'm not even jumping. Literally, my stomach's in knots.
All right, Gage. What are you thinking, man?
I hope we get the shots, you know?
We got plenty of shots. How do you think about skydiving?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah? You're good?
This guy got the best.
Corey, we're going for a rep, buddy.
Yes, sir. Let's rock and roll.
First stop?
No. I used to be a paratrooper in the military.
Here we go. Welcome back, dude.
Sick, man. That was sick, bro. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You have fun?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Congratulations, dude. You just jumped out of an airplane.
I did.
Nice job.
St. Croix. We're in the middle of booking this. It is not finalized yet, but it should be soon, so I'm going to announce it anyway. We're going to be booking the castle on St. Croix.
My life before I became an entrepreneur was a mess.
I was lost, and I would go from job to job, and it was simply because I knew I was meant for something else. I just didn't know what it was. And once I became an entrepreneur, I realized that entrepreneurship was a personal development journey disguised as a business journey. My name is Mike Fallat. I own Dream Starters Publishing, and this is my story. Before I became an entrepreneur, I had many jobs. I was in landscaping, I was in construction, I worked at a convenience store. I also worked at a swimming pool business. I used to help build swimming pools. Corporate employee, I used to sell home remodeling, and many other jobs. Before I knew what I wanted to do, I was going to follow my dad into the Navy. And my whole goal was to become a Navy SEAL. But I got a job at a convenience store working for a millionaire, the only millionaire that I knew. And he started to show me some things when it comes to investing. And I started to understand a little bit about the entrepreneur mentality. That's whenever it hit me. I would like to own my own business someday. And after talking with him, he recommended that I go to Duquesne University to have a college degree to fall back on. So here I am at Duquesne University, and two things happened here that were instrumental to my path as an entrepreneur. First of all, my employer gave me a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. In addition to that, I met a girl who got me to fall in love with reading and writing. So I was sitting in this exact same classroom in 2005, and I looked over and I saw a girl who was way out of my league. And I tapped on my buddy's shoulder and I said, "You see that girl over there? Someday, somehow, I'm going to get her attention." As it turns out, she was an English major and I was a business major, which means I really didn't read or write that much, but I knew it was important to her. So what I did was I started to write daily blogs about my adventures as an entrepreneur, thinking that she was going to read about them on LinkedIn. She didn't. But what I found out was writing was a gateway to clarity. The more I started to write about my life, of where I was and where I was going, it added certainty to my decision making, creating a whole new version of myself every step of the way. In order to get that girl's attention in college, I turned to one man and one man only, and that's Rob Culbertson.
My name is Rob Culbertson, and I'm the podcast guy with $1 Million Book Agency. So I met Mike at Duquesne University. Both went to college there. We both played hockey on the roller hockey team at Duquesne. So I was there a year ahead of him, and I guess he showed up to tryouts one day, and the rest was history. In the college days, not only did we play hockey together, but we partied. Our hockey team was basically party central for Duquesne. And not only did we throw parties, but they were all theme parties. And Mike was he was basically chairman of the party committee. So, and he went balls to the wall on each one. So I have some stories I probably can't tell, but I will say one that rings a bell. It goes back to Mike's very first entrepreneurial venture, and that was a party planning company. And he had what we affectionately refer to as the RWW, the reception without the wedding. So we had a dummy groom, a dummy bride. Mike rented out a ballroom, and we had a wedding for no one. And we all got hotel rooms, we all danced, had a DJ. It was the most fun experience ever. There's so many great stories with Mike, but that's one that I go back to where it's just like, that's him in a nutshell. And he does even the dumbest stuff all the way.
When I was working at my corporate job, I wanted to be anywhere except right there. I thought about the early days of starting a business and failing. and running out of resources. Yeah, that may have been scary, but I felt free at that moment. In the corporate world, I felt chained. And even though I had food and money and was able to afford an apartment and a car, I didn't feel free. So as a corporate employee, I remember sitting in my car and breaking the sales record for the quarter for the company. And I was never more miserable. And it hit me. Money was not what I was pursuing. It was purpose and meaning and doing something that spiked my creative juices and gave me energy to create something from nothing. So having some success financially in the corporate world shined a flashlight on what I was really lacking: meaning and purpose and direction. There is a story that comes to mind whenever I think about my life before becoming an entrepreneur that is very scary. And that is whenever I would wake up in the morning to go to work as a corporate employee, and I would look in the mirror. And I remember looking directly at myself thinking, this is your life? Going to a job that you hate, not making that much money, not being satisfied, not being proud of who you are. And I would go to work, I would fake a smile, and the moment that my appointments were done, I'd become instantly miserable. On that lonely drive home, going back to my apartment and go into the refrigerator and having a couple beers to try to forget what my life was all about. I tried to drink to forget what I just went through. And I would have 2 beers every night in order to sleep. And I thought, there's gotta be more to life than this. And that's what led me to sitting at my 30th birthday party, having a couple beers, and realizing if I lived another birthday like this, that I don't think I want to be here anymore. And after that birthday party, I remember going to my calendar and setting a date that I would leave my corporate job by. And it was by that date that I had to be gone from that corporation. And I needed to be back on the path of starting a business. So setting the date and making sure that I didn't break it, no matter what, forced me to level up. It got me back in the game. The only thing that was holding me back from starting a business was direction. I kept thinking about what I wanted to be known for. And I didn't have a clear picture at all. You know, everybody says they want to start a business, but what type of business? What will you be known for 15, 20, 25 years from now? Not many people know that answer, and either did I. So the lack of focus didn't lead to any type of action. And it was only after I sat down and wrote out my dream obituary. The year was 2014, 2015, and I wrote my dream obituary. And I thought about how I wanted people to remember me. What was my legacy? I wanted to help a lot of people start businesses. I wanted to be very philanthropical. I wanted to speak on many stages and inspire a lot of people to pursue the greatest version of themselves. And while I'm looking at that list, I realized none of it was true at that moment. So that's whenever it hit me. I needed to make this dream obituary a reality. So once I had that clarity, then the game was on. Whenever I made that decision to leave the corporate world, I remember doing as like George Costanza did, the walk-in. To walk in and quit a job, it's like you get to fire your boss. I am telling you, it's an amazing feeling. Even though that when you leave, it's extremely scary because you don't know if you're going to make it financially or not. You just believe in yourself. It's scary, but very, very thrilling at the same time. So when I left that corporate position, I did believe that I'm gonna figure out a way. I am not a fan of having safety nets. I think that whenever you burn the ships and you remove the safety net, you produce your best version. you produce your best effort. And that's what usually leads to success. You become an all-in type of guy. And I think the world senses if you're all in or not. Your team members will sense it. You know, your market will sense it. Your clients will sense it. And by having no safety net, no plan B, you are all in. So whenever I walked out of that corporate world into the startup world, it was scary, but very, very exciting. My entrepreneurial path was full of many peaks and valleys. I started my first business in 2008, and the way I got my money for that was I became a licensed real estate agent. And if you guys are not familiar with this, as a licensed real estate agent, you can make 3% on any home that you purchase. So what I did was I found a house that was a 4-unit building, and I scraped up enough money to put down 3%, which was like $6,000. And as my own real estate agent for the deal, I made 3% back. So 6,000 in, 6,000 out, and I was off and running as a landlord. Now that didn't lead to financial riches right away, but it did give me the courage to go after other businesses, which I bootstrapped from the ground up. And that put me in to about $300,000 in debt. Credit cards and mortgages. It was a scary, scary time. So I bought my first 4-unit building at 23 years old. I became a licensed real estate agent after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, bought my first property, and I was off and running. And I thought it would create wealth right away. Turns out I was completely wrong. It was very hard. Taking tenants to court who didn't pay me money for rent, and it was a lot of problems from the get-go. So I thought to myself, what would make me happy at this stage? Well, let's create a business from the ground up, a startup. So one after another, I started a business and failed miserably. And it wasn't until my 5th business, which was a direct-to-home dog product service, that I actually started to make money. I went into severe debt, and my 5th business was the one that made it. And there's a great quote by Robert Kiyosaki that says, 4 out of 5 businesses will fail. So in order to have a foolproof plan, all you need to do is create 5 businesses. So individuals started coming to me with questions on how to start a business, how to build a brand. And that's when the light bulb went on. Why don't I write a book about what to do and what not to do when starting a business? That's when I put together my first book called Dream Starter, and I reached out to the girl who I tried to impress when it came to reading and writing way back in college. I reached out to her, she became my first editor, and that was the genesis for Dream Starters Publishing. The way I met Ashley Palmer was through Instagram. I was a solo entrepreneur at the time, and I went on Instagram looking for a photographer in Pittsburgh. I found her, reached out to her, and luckily she responded right away. And I asked her to take a few pictures that she could send to me that I could use.
Come here. Come here. Sit. I'm Ashley Palmer, project manager at Dream Starters. I met Mike Fallat because he messaged me on Instagram. I was doing photography at the time, so I had like a pretty big photography account for Pittsburgh. And he messaged me on there to take pictures of heels as a marketing tool because he was handing those out to his book clients. So I started off just taking pictures of these heels for him, but then it led into me just asking him if I could be his assistant because I really liked the whole not having to go someplace to work. I was still in high school. I was finishing up my senior year in cyber. And so I kind of liked the whole working from home, wanted to see if I could escalate it. So he took me on as his assistant, and I kind of just worked my way up from there. I'd say that Mike Fallat is charismatic, hot-headed, but in a very, very driven kind of way, and just an amazing storyteller. He can turn anything into a story and can make anything sound way more exciting than it might be. He can take something super dull and just liven it up. So I feel like storyteller very much goes along well with him.
And it wasn't until I came home from a Grant Cardone event in 2018 that I realized I needed a personal assistant, a full-time employee. And I reached out to her, I offered her the position, and thank God she said yes because it was a game changer for our company. It wasn't smooth sailing whatsoever because I was a terrible leader in the beginning, But having that personal assistant ready to go who is willing to build this company with us, absolute game changer. We started working on the first book together. And once I put it out on Amazon and turned it into an Amazon best-selling book, my life was never the same. And people started coming out of the woodwork, asking me questions on how to publish a book, how to become a best-selling author. And it hit me. Entrepreneurs need help in getting their stories out there to become best-selling authors themselves. So I put the Doggy Surprise business on hold and created Dream Starters Publishing. We started working with entrepreneurs all over the world, helping them get their books done, published on Amazon, and turn them into a best-selling author. My name is Mike Fallat. I am a 7-figure business owner of Dream Starters Publishing and the $1 Million Book Agency. I love being a part of Legacy Entrepreneurs because they think like I do. I mean, I'm a part of many masterminds and networking events, and there are many business owners who don't love their business. Legacy Entrepreneurs, it seems to be a group of entrepreneurs who actually love what they do. And sitting with Mike Wingard and talking about the importance of digital assets as compared to real estate, man, that's exciting because there's so many people that I know that don't share that sentiment. I love digital assets and creating a life from wherever you're at and making it scalable as possible. Mike Wingard gets it, and people a part of Legacy Entrepreneurs get it too. I absolutely recommend LE for any entrepreneur out there who is looking for a strong network of entrepreneurs who love what they do. It's very rare to find that in this world. So if you can find a group of other people who are building a life that they truly dream of, it's inspiring. It's like you can get around a group of people and just have fun with each other, learn from each other, and build lifelong relationships and establish relationship capital that gets stronger every step of the way.